you use ain't when speaking English? Yes or no? Before I answer the question, ain't actually means am not. I ain't your friend. Of course, a lot of people feel that ain't is incorrect English, but a lot of people use it informally when they're talking to their friends or their family. So, should you use ain't when you're speaking English? It depends on...
Well, we're talking about grammar rules this morning. What makes a word a real word and what makes it slang? What's with all the grammar rules we were taught in school? Are they still even relevant today?
Ann Curzon is a professor of English at the University of Michigan. She tackles all these questions in her book, Says Who? A kinder, funner usage guide for everyone who cares about words. And she joins us this morning. Good morning, Ann.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
Do we have you there? I think is our Zoom working this morning? Maybe, maybe not. Well, we can hear you. I guess that's all we. Yeah. So let me ask you. It's a fine line between I want to sound like a grown-up or a professional, but I don't want to sound like I'm from the 19th century. So what is that balance?
Yeah, so there are a couple of themes in the book. One is that the English language is always changing, and it's part of any living language. So we're not going to sound like we're in the 19th century because we're speaking language of the 21st century. But I was taught, and I don't know about both of you, that there was one correct way to use the language and then lots of incorrect ways to use the language. And that's just not true. We need to think about audience and context and purpose. There are formal ways to use it and informal ways, standard ways and non-standard ways. But it's not as easy as there's one right way and one wrong way to use the language. And a second thing I would say is that the diversity of language is part of the diversity of us. And so part of celebrating all the varieties of people and communities is that we're going to speak differently across those communities.
I will say, talking to my kids in text messages makes me absolutely crazy. Can you use a period? Can you use a comma? It's just sentences that go on forever. Everything's lowercase. I mean, there's a happy medium here, isn't there? Why is that? Periods are no good anymore?
Well, texting is fascinating to me because what I have learned from spending a lot of time with undergraduates, and it sounds like you're hearing this as well, is that punctuation has been repurposed in texting. So, for example, the period at the end of a text is serious and perhaps angry.
What?
So I know, and young people are very, very clear about this. So it's not that it's chaos, it's that punctuation needs to do something different in texting because we don't have tone and facial expression to rely on when we're texting back and forth. And so smiley faces and JK for just kidding and punctuation are doing that work.
Huh.
So let me ask you for a couple of specific examples of something that we might get away with friends and maybe shouldn't do in a professional setting.
Yeah, so one of the things that I try to do in the book is help people think about what are some constructions or words that people may be cranky about in more formal settings. And so we could use the example of irregardless. So do either of you have strong feelings about irregardless?
Yeah, it's always wrong.
It's actually been around for quite a while. And one could argue that it's actually an emphatic form of regardless, that it is definitive, that no matter what you say, irregardless of what you say, I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do. But in more formal settings, you're going to run into some crankiness about that, some judgment about that. So what I'm trying to help people do is think about, is this a moment where I want to push people a little bit and say, you shouldn't be cranky about that, or I want to just say regardless or use regardless and not push people's buttons.
Well, it's one thing when you're talking, but it's like, I mean, is this telling like kids in school that, I mean, they might think you're writing an essay or you're writing a college essay and you can, use grammatically incorrect terms?
Yeah, so here's what I wish someone had told me when I was learning to write in school, which is that one of the things that makes writing challenging is that it cannot tolerate the kind of ambiguity that we can tolerate in speech. So when you and I are talking and you look confused, I know that something I've said is confusing and I can repair. But in writing, we need to be more careful, and sometimes we're being asked to be more formal. And so when I'm teaching, I'm a professor of English at the University of Michigan, I'm helping students master both those formal varieties and minimizing ambiguity as a writer. But I'm not using the language of this is the only correct way to use the language. I'm saying this is the formal way to use the language that will minimize ambiguity in really helpful ways and promote clarity, which we want to do as writers and as speakers.
All right. Well, thank you, Anne. The book is Says Who? A kinder, funner usage guide for everyone who cares about words. And for more, there is the information to follow. And thanks, Anne.
Thanks so much.